When it came to Filipino food, I always tend to eat with my eyes. A lot of our foods, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, that's probably like the last thing I want to eat. Filipinos, come and get me. Longganisa.
Longganisa's pretty Filipino.
That is.
There we go.
I don't know.
We found one.
Oh my God. Tell your elaborate plan.
Okay, so I would make sure don't start with carbs. Let's go for the meats first. The goal of the game here at this buffet is to make them lose money. I get what you mean though, because like it's like you kind of have this expectation that you should like your culture's own food, and if you don't, then it's like, oh, you're this whitewashed Asian boy in America.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have no culture.
Yeah.
To me, I'm always gonna be proud of that. It's like. We're recording.
Yeah, it's time to be like really honest with Filipino food.
Okay. You want to talk about Filipino food?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're going to talk about Filipino food. All right, Meg, you start us off then if you want to start talking about food.
First off, like, okay, one of the most common like Philippine diseases that Filipinos carry, it's like gout, high cholesterol, a lot of those kind of things, And I feel like it's because our foods are really based around rice and like a lot of meat. No?
Okay.
Not much vegetables.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm 34 now.
Yeah.
I love our culture's food.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But it stems from me being the pickiest eater in the world growing up.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that.
Like, to give some context, I only ate chicken nuggets and fries till I was maybe like around 7, 8, 9. Had my first like burger when I was like 11, 12. I never tried fish till I was 19. Crazy. Yeah. Why is that? I don't know. I was just like a picky eater. Like, I find something I like and I'm just going to continue eating that. But, it screwed me over and made all the titas and titas hate me at the family's parties because, there's a potluck going on. Oh, we got to make sure there's chicken nuggets for Mick. We got to make sure there's chicken for Mick. I'm just like, and, I'm not proud of it, but it's just how I grew up.
Okay.
So when it came to Filipino food, I always tend to also eat with my eyes. Okay. And
right.
I feel like a lot of our foods like don't look exactly appealing. Like what's the one called with that's made out of pig's blood? It's like a brown sauce. Yeah, that's the one.
Because I know what to say.
And like it'd be at the family parties, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, that's probably like the last thing I want to eat.
Yeah.
And that's very hard to say in front of a camera because I'm Filipino. Filipino pride, but you know what? Filipinos, come and get me.
Yeah. Okay. I don't blame you because that dish, I don't eat it either. I tried it once and I didn't hate it, but I was like, I don't need to eat this if it doesn't look that great, and if it personally, I don't think it tastes that good either.
Yeah.
It's a whatever taste to me.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm wondering, because I also started off as a picky eater, did mom ever try to feed you like Filipino food, like outside of the sinigang and adobo? Did you try to feed you any other Filipino food outside of that when you were growing up?
No, not really. Or if it was like leftovers, and it would look all mushy and cold, and like a whipped cream container, Cool Whip container, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is not what I want. This ain't no chicken nuggets from McDonald's.
That's fair.
That's
fair. And okay.
But besides, and lumpia. That's about it.
Yeah, lumpia. Very. That's visually appealing to eat.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm wondering because like I don't think you should blame yourself, or you think people would hate you for not liking Filipino food, because if you didn't grow up with it, it's like almost like a white kid looking at our food for the first time.
Whoa. That just kind of like blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm like thinking about it because I remember and his friend were downstairs, and I was like, I could tell they were already.
There's a white kid for context.
Yes. He's a white kid. Yes. I could tell they were stoned and they were looking for food. And then they were like, all right, let's check out the refrigerator. it says like, "Oh, we got this," and then I hear, why is it orange? Why is it orange? And like, so like that's what I'm saying. Like I understand why you don't like it, and now as an adult you still don't like it because like you didn't grow up with it. You know,
That's true.
Yeah,
because mom and dad would always give like what it was like they both work, so when they get home it's like $1 menu, $5 limit. What do you want?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was either Monday or Tuesday nights. We would always get the Bamboo House or another Chinese spot, but the family special. I forgot what you call it, but it's pretty much like a group of foods that you would get, and we would get it always on Tuesday night. And
then remember, like we go to the fast food spot, and then Dad would buy the supersize drink, and we all had to share it.
Yes.
7 people had to share it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like
I remember fighting over like what soda we're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
I feel like it's so hard to get home cooked food like that because both of our parents were working full time, and I remember mom was telling me like she really had to fight eventually to get work from home days because that wasn't a thing back in the day.
Oh my! You just kind of like blew my mind.
Yeah,
I thought like something was wrong with me. I was like, why am I the worst
No.
Filipino ever?
No, to be honest, like in college, right? I tried to get into it, and it was only because I didn't want to be looked down on by my Filipino peers. Because this was the first time I was like, not even in college, even when my youth group that was all Filipino. Like when I first started hanging out with all Filipinos, I kind of felt alienated too because I didn't know the food, and like I kind of wanted to pretend like, oh yeah, I've had this before and eat it. But I remember I was so nervous. I'm like,
Sometimes I get like that with Sarah too. Like she'll be like, "Oh, this Filipino food, do you know it?" I'm like, yeah, I definitely know it." You know?
Yeah, no, exactly. Sometimes I remember in high school, some Mexican kid was asking me like, "Oh, does your mom make this?" I'm like,
and they say with the accent too.
Yeah,
it's just like I'm like,
wait. This one time I was doing this like dance thing in high school, and I wasn't really popular in high school, so I was with a bunch of these like non-Asian kids.
Yeah,
and they were asking me like all these. They're asking me if I could speak Tagalog. So I was just saying Filipino dishes to make them think I was speaking Tagalog.
Oh my God. Yeah. I wish I could learn Tagalog because like every time I go back, there's nothing more I feel like being less Filipinos when I go back to the Philippines. Yeah. Because it's like, mom and dad didn't teach us the language. And, every time I see my cousins, it's always like, oh, like it's the, the Philam, the American boy. And they always like shit on me for not knowing the language.
In the Philippines, did you work? I mean, I haven't been to the Philippines since I was 8 years old, but
yeah.
Did you ever go to, because the place that EJ was talking about, Dollar Hits? Did you ever eat like that kind of street barbecue food?
Just the pork barbecue stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I went
like
there.
Intestines, like I just can't.
I tried and like it's not my thing.
Yeah. And don't you feel embarrassed for not like liking it?
Honestly, a little bit, but then I'm just like, nah, it's like if I don't like it, I don't like it,
Yeah.
I get what you mean though, because like it's like you kind of have this expectation that you should like your culture's own food, and if you don't, then it's like, oh, you're this whitewashed Asian boy in America.
Yeah.
You have no culture.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think us loving chicken nuggets, us loving fast food, American Chinese food, and what I was loving a Whopper is our culture, and like that may not be as enriched for some people who are super into their ethnic foods, but to me, I'm always going to be proud of that. It's like that conversation that we had about California food and East Coast food. Like I'm always going to be proud to be someone who loves a greasy bacon, egg, and cheese.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm so passionate about food, right?
Yeah. Wow. I didn't see these in the notes, dude. Like, I didn't know this was coming, bro.
This is going off script.
Yeah.
Rolling off the tongue.
Yeah. I did not know I was gonna, after this episode, like I was gonna feel better about myself because I've always felt like some kind of shame or guilt for not exactly loving all Filipino food.
All right, this is another thing to get into.
Yeah.
Shame with you. I am so tired of you, and you too a little bit, Sarah, that you guys talk shit about my healthy food, okay?
Wait, what healthy food?
The other day, my fucking rice paper rolls, I know it looked like shit, okay?
Okay, let me give you some context here. So, all right, he cooks these... Okay, it wasn't the Trader Joe frozen chicken, but he legit cut up his own steak and cooked it. That stuff is good. But then he decided to like just take this steak and then put it on these rice paper rolls, the typical ones you see on like spring rolls, like on Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Okay, but like with a Vietnamese one, they put like the colors in there with the carrots and the greens. And this guy, me and Sarah, are just chilling in the kitchen, and he's like just rolling up a meat, like a sausage. But then instead of like the wrap being your typical sausage wrap, he's using the fucking
I put just all beef in there, okay? And it may have looked like
and what did it look like? And what did it look like? It looked like dog poop.
Okay, it looked like poop in a white doggy bag, but I don't care, okay?
Or it's like it looks like a doggy poop, but like you didn't have any plastic bags, you just had a condom. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, well, okay.
Your mac and cook.
For everyone's background, okay, I am in the mode of doing a lean or a bulking cut or whatever.
I don't know how you do the macro thing. Like that is exhausting.
Okay.
Hey, bulking cut? You got to pick one of them.
No, they call it, I forgot what it's called, but I'm losing weight at a slower rate, but I'm still losing weight but I'm not losing as much muscle mass. Anyways,
okay.
On macros, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't see myself losing weight in another way that's where I'm flexible, right?
Well, it worked for you. Like you
did.
lost like freaking 200 pounds, bro. Like I was like, God damn.
250, but thank
Yeah.
you. But thank
I
you.
was like, is this a Noel that I
Look at
missed?
him blush.
Like,
Look at him blush. He's like, oh yeah, I was
and I
fat.
was like,
I know.
Oh yeah, I was fat.
But no, I mean like with macros, right? Like just to go on that tangent, the reason why I like it, and that's why I encourage everyone who wants to lose weight to do it, is because like if you are really bad at sticking to a strict diet, meaning like, oh, like I have to eat salads, or oh, I can't have McDonald's once in a while. I feel like that's the best way, because let's say if I do really crave a Big Mac, right?
And you do, because sometimes I see you trying to sneak in the food. Like he tries to be nonchalant with it. Like he'll like try to walk past like in the Wingstop bag. I'm like, what you got there?
Yeah.
What you
When I
got?
pass through the kitchen, I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? And then I try to do like I'm holding the door, but it's really a McDonald's bag.
But the evidence, just remember, the evidence is always in the trash.
Yeah. And I feel like the oil smells too.
Oh yeah,
But-
Wingstop lingers for a bit.
Yeah.
But
But back to my point, like it's
Yeah.
like I could have that once a day, and like that's probably gonna take like 60 or 70% of my calories, but I could still have that, and then I'll just ruin the rest of my day by just having a protein shake. But the fact that I could still have a Big Mac and still be heading towards my goals, like, come on, like there's no better way. But another thing that you guys, other than the rice paper and beef one, the one that you guys really killed for me was my protein cheesecake. I was enjoying that. I was loving that.
Protein cheesecake.
Okay. Protein cheesecake. It's
okay. It had a good taste when the first bite. It's like, oh, okay, I could do this.
Yeah.
And then when the aftertaste comes after you swallow, it's like, oh, it's kind of tastes like chalk.
No, yeah. That's the part that ruined it for me, because when you guys said it was dry, I had no recollection or no thought of that when I would eat it. And then I would start eating it. I'm like, they're fucking right. Fuck. I'm like, I just made a whole batch of this. And,
You guys are not supportive at all.
No.
Trash him.
Oh my God. But I mean, that's really the only thing. Like, I really try not to take it on myself, because I'm like, okay, screw them. My goals is what I'm heading towards. I'm just going to keep eating this food.
Oh my God.
But yeah.
But going back to Filipino food, okay. You know which Filipino restaurant I really love in LA is La Cita.
Right.
And let me say why, because I feel like sometimes, other Filipinos will tell me like, yeah, it's cool, but like it's not like, traditional. Like it's like I want to feel like a hole in the wall, and like it's on already, and they're, I feel like they're doing it different, where it's like if you go to that restaurant, it's more than just Filipinos. It's awesome to see.
Yeah.
I feel like they're doing it in a good way, where they're still holding like, originally what it is, and just putting a little flair to it. And speaking on us, like, because we're a different culture, I feel like it helped me really embrace it, and I love that spot too.
Yeah. Honestly, I love that spot too. That's probably like a main like staple every time someone comes here and visit. I always try to take them there.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. I mean, there's other Pierre. What's up, P?
Hey, P. Yeah, there's other ones too, you know. And like we live right by Eagle Rock, and remember when we took mom and dad to La Cita? Like, yeah, that's cool, we like it. And then the next day they're like, where can we find palabo in Eagle Rock? You know, like, and then mom's like googling hard, like, there's no palabo in Eagle Rock. What is going on?
I remember that too. Yeah, I even put a post on story on Instagram, and
but they were impressed with Kuya Lord. Remember?
Oh, they were, but I think that one is probably the most that you can get Filipino. That's more like hole in the wall than La Cita, I would say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Agreed. Yeah, I love Kuya Lord too. Like all the dishes, like bomb. And yeah, it's interesting that I don't know. Like when I was back home, living even in Boston or wherever else I was living, I was never to be like, oh, I need to go get Filipino food. You know, but when living here, I am like down when it comes to those two restaurants. You know,
it's different for me because I still feel like even though I don't love an array of Filipino food, there's always one dish that always like holds my heart that's Filipino, and it's because mom always made it.
Which one?
And it was probably one of the easiest dishes to make, but it was so good and flavorful. Pork, specifically pork sinigang. I would always go back to.
I prefer that over fish, honestly.
Yeah,
you know?
Same, dude. Same. Yeah. I really like it just because, like, one, I love the whole like process of getting a scoop of rice, and then when you get to the bowl, you get your. I always prioritize meat first, so like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get the pork belly, the one with the most fat, and then I get the gulay, and then I put it on, and then I get a whole scoop of the soup. And pour it over the rice. This was in
your fat phase, I could tell.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, dude. Would pour that over the rice, and then I would make like a little soup, and that's probably the best meal if I could. I feel like when that question comes up, what meal would you have when you're on a deserted island? It used to be fried calamari, but now that I'm thinking about it,
fried calamari. Wow. Yeah,
I don't know why.
That's like really random.
I think
like you couldn't dream bigger than that. Like,
well, I don't know. I was thinking about something that I could have for
fried calamari.
Okay, the thing. Okay,
I would be thinking like, I want like omakase by so and so who only lets 3 people into his.
But wouldn't you get tired of that though? I'm thinking longevity. I feel like fried calamari, I could have it just over and over and over.
Nah, you'd get sick of it, dude. Trust me.
Okay, but my new dish now is pork sinigang. And my deserted island dish. Yeah.
I had to think about mine that I could eat forever.
Yeah.
Probably steak, mashed potatoes, and if I had to pick it has to be a veggie. Probably broccoli.
Oh.
Because there was a time when I first moved to LA where I was pretty much doing that. I was just switching out steak for, chicken breasts or whatever. Because, the broke days and just cooking. Sure. And I legit ate that because potatoes were so cheap. Broccoli was really cheap. And that would probably be my desert meal because I could feel like I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there a dish at all that mom or at home that we used to make? It doesn't have to be anything like. If it's a frozen thing too, that's
Well, mom used to make. The one that comes right to mind is just breakfast, where it was just like rice, and then she cooked the egg sunny side up. But I loved it when she cooked it where it got crispy on the bottom. And then, but just enough for the yolk to still be able to break, just enough. And then I mix it with the rice.
Yeah.
And then there'd be bacon on the side, or was it longanisa? And that's what I loved.
Longanisa is pretty Filipino.
It is.
There we go. We found one.
I don't know.
We found one.
Oh my god.
this dude blushed.
Oh my god. Yeah. Going back to rice and like egg. Another thing that mom used to cook, it was very easy. Hot dog on a frying pan.
No, that's what it was.
Yeah, right?
That's what it was for breakfast. Sorry.
Okay, got it.
Because mom was too she's not gonna make longanisa. The only time I remember like Filipino food being made was when Lola came.
Okay.
Like she was always making lumpia, and the sinigang. Like mom was like doing it, but then when they came to town, like it was always cooked food for sure.
Oh my god. All right.
Yeah.
Frozen foods, because we had a lot. I could have.
Oh, okay. I know already. Like the
which ones?
The panko bread shrimp from Costco, bro.
Those are classic, and those are still selling like crazy now at Costco.
Yep.
Okay, panko shrimp. Any other ones?
From and then coming back after school was just making my own. That mom made or that frozen foods that we made after school?
Either or.
Oh, okay. So another one was just making quesadilla. I was just like,
oh, you made quesadillas or
it was the Tyson chicken frozen like breaded ones, and then I'd cook that in the oven, and then so it's crispy, and then slice it up, and then make lay down the tortilla cheese, and then press it on the pan.
I have a couple in mind. So one of them was the mesquite wings.
Oh my god! Yeah. I still think about that, bro.
Honestly, I haven't.
Was that Costco?
That was, and those had like a citrusy flavor on it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I can't find.
I see you're trying to do that again with the sinigang wings.
Now.
Yeah, nah,
it's not working. But you know those wings.
Yeah.
And then the second one was Mystic Pizza.
Bro. I would kill one whole pie to myself.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was that Costco?
That was Costco. Yeah, they don't have it anymore though. It's been years since I've seen that brand.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's funny. Like when I pass the frozen section nowadays in Costco, it's like I don't get shit from Costco. It's all Trader Joe's now. The frozen stuff is crazy. Like, did you try the pork belly?
No, I haven't, but I see it in the freezer sometimes.
Yeah. So it's really easy to make. It's already cooked, and then you just put it in the air fryer, and then it gets mad crispy, and then within like 15, 20 minutes. And then you have a full pork belly, and it's pretty damn good. And I'll just mix it in with the Trader Joe's fried rice.
Yeah, dude. Frozens are still relative today. I mean, mine is like the gnocchi, the cauliflower gnocchi.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That one's pretty easy.
That is a constant staple in your fridge.
Yeah, I mean, again, I wouldn't have it as much if I wasn't trying to lose weight. That's only because of the losing weight part,
I mean, yesterday I tried to do that, but like, I don't know. We weren't feeling it. Maybe we made it wrong.
There's other options.
TikTok fooled us, bro. Like we saw this guy like, oh, it's amazing. You gotta make it like this, and then it turned nothing like his.
Oh my god, that's fair. That's fair.
It ruined it for us.
That's fair.
Yeah, but why when you make food, it kind of just looks like there's no pizzazz. Like it's just like
I'm not going for pizzazz, sir.
But it feels like there's no fun in it. Like you enjoy it. Like when you just make rice and Trader Joe's teriyaki chicken and
So here's another. So yes, there's no pizzazz. I'm really just going for macros. Yeah. And how I get through that, right, is because when I first moved here, me, you, Sarah were eating out almost like all the time. I was like, damn, I'm spending a lot of money on food. And then now when I went back into cooking, it got hard because I was like, I'm constantly having this amazing food, but when I cook, I feel like I'm eating garbage. So like my mindset now is that like, okay, food, you love it. It's a reward. And you can't have a reward all the time.
Wow.
So when you're going to cook at home, it's just for energy. That's all it is. Wow. And like a little flavor just so that you get through it, but mostly energy. And then when you have the body or the weight that you want, then you can reward yourself with something really good.
See, the problem is like I'll do that too. But then when I get to the body I want, I'm like, reward yourself all the time. 6 months later, boom, I'm back.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I did it. Yes, I lost 20 pounds. Like, I'm going to eat Wingstop. Let's go. What? Wingstop again the other night? Let's do it.
God, that's
why it fluctuates like a sine wave.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
That's been my whole life. You've seen me like my whole life. I've always been like, oh, I'm kind of chubby.
I mean, I kind of feel like I went through that. I'm getting back from getting really heavy from before.
Yeah, I feel like you're stable though, especially from the last 4 episodes when I watched them back. I was like, oh, he still got he's not like how he was when when I was still in Boston.
Oh yeah, I was really fat back then. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Going back to food that we used to eat or how we used to eat when we were younger.
Yeah.
We talked about all you can eat sushi and how we used to always go. Oh my god, my strategy for buffets was crazy.
Oh my god, that's when I knew. I was like, bro, this guy's got an issue.
Yeah, I really did have an issue.
He'd go to a buffet and he had this. Yeah, tell your elaborate plan.
Okay, so I would go to the buffet, right? I would make sure don't start with carbs. Let's go for the meats first. The goal of the game here at this buffet is to make them lose money. That's what we're doing today. So we're gonna start with the meat, probably their most expensive thing. And then second round, okay,
red meats only.
Red meats only. And then we could dabble in the carbs a little bit. With sushi, right? I was like, okay, only sashimi.
Oh
only
my
getting
god.
fish. And then now let's say we're at the second or third round. I'm full. Okay, it feels stuck. Let's take a walk around the restaurant. Let's just maybe smell the food. Let's go to the bathroom. If we take a boom, another 4 rounds are going.
Have you ever gotten kicked out?
No, I never got that bad.
Oh my God.
That would be.
There's a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode about like they kicks them out of buffet.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No, I feel like if I ever got kicked out, that would be like a
How would you react?
Big up call.
How would you react? Sir, you're on your 4th plate. We're stopping you here.
I might be mad initially. Just
how would you react? Let's say, play it out.
Oh.
Big back.
I don't know how to play it.
That's how you'd react. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say anything, but I don't know. I feel like that would also be a wake up call for me because I'd be like,
oh yeah.
All right, you know.
What was the wake up call for you?
It's when me and my girlfriend broke up, and I was like, oh, I wanna.
Oh, you did that. You did the. I'll see you in the gym, bro.
Yeah. No, literally, that's literally what I went through. And then it's that phase of just like starting to work out. I realized I was really fat when I made the mistake of going to my second personal training session, and then before, like 30 minutes before, I decided to eat popcorn at the movies. And then when I was working out, literally midway, I was doing rows. And Dan was like, all right, sit down for a little bit. And then 2 seconds, sit down. And I throw up all over the gym floor. And this wasn't even when he had his own gym. This was when he was renting a space.
Oh,
and then I was like, oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry.
I had that moment with Dan too. For context, Dan is our cousin, and he made him lose all his weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I dabbled in there too. I couldn't last. I remember the first workout, I was like acting like a baby. Like, I can't do it, Dan. I can't.
I remember that.
One more crunch. I can't.
I remember that.
I'm going to throw up. And I just went to the bathroom. I didn't really have to throw up, but I was like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up.
God. I remember that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those are the days, fat day. I do miss fat days sometimes. Like, with fast food, when I was super obsessed with it,
Mm-hmm.
I remember I would always, like, at Burger King, I would always get the Whopper meal with the large Coke.
Oh,
that's another thing to talk about too. I'm still an addict with soda, but I am a classic sugary drink person.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't drink, I could have sworn like all the years I was fat, let's say the 4 years, 5 years, I only probably drank max 1 glass of water a year because I would either drink Diet Coke, regular Coke, or Gatorade just to make myself feel better.
God.
Oh, no. What made myself feel better, what I thought was healthy, was Arizona green tea. And I know that shit was, I was like, I'm not losing weight.
Nope. So you don't think you could convert after having all these seltzer waters around? You couldn't do it?
No, this is just for looks and vibes. Honestly. Okay, it's not horrible. I do try to use it to substitute. I was like, okay, I don't need soda. Let me just try this. But
watch, after you drink that for a while, it's kind of like after taking a break from soda and you drink like a full-on regular Coke, like you're going to be like, oh my God, like this is a lot of damn sugar.
I'm not like that because I've had soda breaks, and when I have a first cup of soda or first sip of soda, I'm like, I'm like an addict. I'm like, I want to chug it. You've seen, my God. Even, that's the thing with our family, like Dad and Gabe.
Yeah.
Every time I come home, we are at the dinner table. Dad is like, can you get my water? Gabe goes to the basement or goes to the storage room, brings out 3 Cokes. And I was like, I don't know if I want one. Opens it up. We all sip.
Like, Dad will drink that shit warm.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it goes back into our male family history because
what is our male family
Grandpa,
history?
Dad would give.
Oh my God! Till his last breath, he always had a Diet Coke.
He would give him Diet Coke and continuously. I mean, honestly.
Okay, when Dad's at that point and we're the one feeding him, like, are we giving him Diet Coke?
Well, yes, we're gonna give him Diet Coke. You want to know why? Because Grandpa lived until 99, drinking Diet Coke.
Yeah,
and I don't even know what else he did when he was younger. I feel like
supposedly he was like a Jack Daniel drinking, cigarette smoking guy.
And look at him, he lived until 99.
Yeah, but 99, but then, the last 10 years were kind of like he wasn't there. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if dad wants Diet Coke, I'll give him Diet Coke. If mom wants chocolate when she's old,
Oh yeah, I'll give them
chocolate.
whatever they want. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. But
Yeah. I mean, like, mom and dad, even though they didn't, you know, do you think it's their fault that, you know, we're not as Filipino as we should be?
it's their fault.
No.
I mean, I think they tried the best as they could. I mean, I think one thing that they really did well was, at least for me, they put me through Filipino camp. And
oh my God, Filipino camp was dope.
If I didn't have Filipino camp, I probably wouldn't know what chicken adobo is, or what tinik kling is, or even the history of the Philippines, like Magellan.
Yeah.
Like, I think they did the best they could. I think it was just like, when I talk about with them, especially with like the language part, I'm like, why didn't you speak Tagalog to us? It was mostly because like they didn't want us to struggle in school, and I could be mad at them all I want about it, but like it was just them like just trying to prepare me for a better future, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, P.
Hey, get out of there! My dog is acting crazy right now. Hey, stop it.
What about you? I mean, do you ever feel do you feel kind of guilty at all? Or with like, I know the food you talked about, like you felt like a lot of people looked down on you because you weren't into that Filipino food, but do you still feel that now?
I asked the question because now that I have this new found site or discovery that you've opened up to me, that's kind of like what I thought. I was like, is it mom and dad's fault that we weren't Filipino? But you know, I think about it more as you were talking, and they were busy as hell. They both worked full-time jobs. Like, and I even remember, like, before you were born, like when I was growing up, I always had to go to some random like nanny, Filipino nanny, and yeah, and and then even Cassie when she was a baby, and they were always like working. Like we were in Jersey, but they had to take the train in New York, and so I don't want to say they're at fault. It's just like the circumstances, you know.
I mean, for me, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, they could have raised me more Filipino. Would have I have loved my life more? I don't think so. I mean, I love the life that I am now. Like I'm always gonna be proud of the statement. I am a Filipino American, and holding that American part true, because I think that makes me unique. Like I'm sure I'm not like, I don't love all the things that typically Filipinos love, but I don't care. I mean, that's what makes me, and I don't know, that's what makes me Noel, you know?
Hell yeah. And that's a good spot to end it. I like where you, that was a statement there, bro.
There you go, man.
Wow. Maybe you're proud of it, Filipino. Let's go.
That was a good one.
Yeah, okay.
Pierre,